Age of New Beginnings is really about meeting wonderful people. Andrew is a beautiful soul that really cares about the earth, about people, and that's something that I'm a magnet to. Beautiful souls. Age of New Beginnings is really a beautiful way for people to see life in a whole new way, to start enjoying their life. I teach different programs about tuning in, expanding, tuning into other people's energy, understanding healing, and you meet beautiful, wonderful people that are on the same path, but they do it in their own unique way. Hi, welcome to the Age of New Beginnings. And today we have a wonderful episode that you're going to learn about the incredible event that Andrew's been doing now for 11 years. It's his Earth Day event, which is about global peace, love, and universal consciousness. And Andrew has been living and breathing that for how many years now?
21 years.
Yes. So getting to know Andrew the way I do, you'll love him the way I do. He has a beautiful array of people that are going to be speaking about consciousness and, well, you tell me about Mitchell. Mitchell's going to be here. He's going to be the MC,
yes.
Right? So,
Mitchell Rabin.
There you go. Show
Hello.
Producer, he's
and host of The Better World.
Hello, and welcome back to A Better World. This is your host, Mitchell J. Rabin, and I'm very glad you're joining us again today. Talking about subjects that are just very dear to my heart. Health and healing, the environment, spirituality, consciousness, human potential, and speaking with the sung and the unsung heroes of society.
Today we're going to have a very interesting show yet again. We have Bruce Lipton on, Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is a PhD in cellular biology and is a former professor at University of Wisconsin. He'll be speaking. So welcome.
Thank you, Mitch.
It's a pleasure to have you, Bruce.
And the cell membrane are analogous structures. So to the cell, the skin of the cell is this membrane.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that the cell membrane is the site of consciousness transduction.
Hello, Bruce.
Mitch, thank you very much for another opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. This word needs to be out. I'm sorry that it took us 10 years to reconvene, but
well, it's been an exciting 10 years because the science we talked about 10 years ago is now becoming mainstream understanding. So the population is ready for this now.
It comes in the word kra, which is the first time that the kaf is used in the Bible, which means to call something something.
Wow.
So when you label something, you really give it reality, and this is what God did in order to make the universe. Label things. Very important sound.
Why did I know? I know very little Hebrew, but when you said kaf, there was something about the way you said it that I said call inside myself.
Yeah.
I don't even know that that's the case.
Yeah, it's also a kopf, which is if you look at Magritte's paintings, the back of the head, particularly the occipital region of the brain, that area. So there's many mystical insights that came to the early Kabbalists in terms of what these symbols meant, which are reflective today of our ways of thinking now.
So I'm happy to have them part of this celebration.
Yeah. And when you talk about what he projects in the better world,
Yeah.
I guess basically it speaks for itself.
It's an incredible place here. It's like a little paradise in itself, hence the name.
Yes.
And it's a great getaway from New York, huh?
That's why I did it. You're listening to the macaws in the background. I have peacocks and macaws, cockatoos, cockatiels, different birds, and when you live in a very intense environment, and New York is intense, and you adapt to it. If you have a small apartment, you adapt to it. if you live in an environment where you have to be concerned about where you're walking at night, you adapt to it. Your senses adapt to it. So I wanted a place where there was no need for adaptation, where I could simply be at peace at all times, completely calm at all times. And most importantly, for myself and for people like myself who are always creating, to be able to rejuvenate.
One of the main places of focus that you've been involved in the past 20 years or so has been in dealing with shamanically sanctioned plants and bringing the wisdom of the plant world, you could say, to the foreground of our society.
The use of plant hallucinogens is particularly effective simply because it transcends ideology, it transcends ritual, it goes directly to the physical brain, and by perturbing the living brain, it perturbs consciousness. And then out of that experience, conclusions are drawn within a cultural framework. I've been very interested in hallucinogenic experience and shamanism and that sort of thing since the 60s. I think if you spend enough time looking at these things, you come to see that the shamanic metaphor, the magical metaphor, are not as fully satisfying as thinking about these things in terms of dimensionality, that actually you do.
He's also a psychotherapist, and he's also been involved with green businesses for many years.
Oh, wow.
Since 1989, I believe. So he's done a lot of good things for the environment. He's very passionate about what he does and helps produce events and helps produce his radio shows. He interviews all kinds of different people.
Gotcha.
From all facets of life. So.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Educate, uplift, and inspire them about what to do in this world, to take action, and to be spiritually connected so we can move this planet along to its next operating level, if you will.
And he's MC, and there's many other people involved.
So let's talk a little bit about Kurt Johnson.
Kurt Johnson is the president of Institute of Noetic Sciences.
Kurt works across a number of fields: spirituality, science, literature, and business. He was a Christian monastic for 14 years, and he was then a professional scientist in evolutionary biology at major scientific institutions for 20 years, publishing widely in international scientific journals. Since 2001, he has balanced work in world religions, spirituality, and science, and retired from business administration in 2007. The reason we're having this interview today is that Kurt has just published a very interesting book called The Coming Interspiritual Age in collaboration with David Robert Ord. And it explores the themes of oneness, unity, and diversity on a worldwide scale. Forecasting a global shift towards spiritual consciousness, the authors unwrap an evolving makeup of religious communities to showcase how new forms of personal identity and scientific contexts in religion are creating a collective interspirituality.
He's the author of 7 books and 200 scientific articles. He's been involved with professional science and comparative religion for 40 years.
So why don't you lay it out for us? Tell us what this book is about.
Well, there's a lot of ways, Rick, that one could look at this book, and let me just mention about 3. The publisher is Namaste, which published Eckhart Tolle, and one of his most well-known books is A New Earth.
So what I'm excited about with Kurt Johnson that's going to be speaking is there's an essence called the New Earth, which is the Earth at a higher frequency, a higher consciousness, which is what you were speaking of. So it's about people more aware of their own intuitive gifts, that they're starting to feel more alive.
And the question that was being asked, I think, by Namaste was, if you took the theme of a new Earth, which is this dream of a transformation where the planet would become a place concerned about the well-being of all and the potential of our species could really max out. Is that just dreaming, or do the data sets that are out there from science, from governance, from sociology, from brain-mind studies, consciousness studies, do these actually show that this is where things are trending? So that was kind of our mandate, was could we lay out the data sets that actually would show that we're not in dream world here when we're talking about the world moving toward a unity consciousness, but that that's actually the trend. So that would be one. But the second is that, as you know from reading the book, is there's been this undercurrent within what was first the ecumenical movement and then the interfaith movement and now what's called the interspiritual movement, which really, from you and my perspective, would be the understanding of non-duality or awakening through all the traditions and across the traditions and even down to the man on the street. That this has been a convergence that's been happening over the last decades. And so particularly what our book was trying to do, and the statement you were reading before this was actually a statement from the Parliament of the World Religions, is that this direction has been going on across the traditions, at least in the last decades. So that would be kind of perspective number two. And perspective number three would simply be if we looked at the entire world level, and that includes all of the secular world, all of the discoveries of modern science, particularly the new physics, M theory, and all of these things. Science and that view of reality is also going toward a unified lens, in a sense, as anybody in non-dual work would know, that everything's made of the same thing. This is all one seamless, interconnected dynamic. And the question then is how our species, Homo sapiens, becomes a skilled organism as a part of this incredible holonic interconnected structure, interior, exterior, known as the universe. And here we are, sitting right in the middle of it.
What do you think is driving this?
And he's been doing all this amazing work and different organizations he's been involved with, unity.earth and interspirituality.com. He is an author of a book called The Coming Interspiritual Age, and he's just his work is extraordinary.
He might also be known as the author of The Convergency, right? He has that magazine.
He's a radio show and the Convergency magazine.
Right.
Has a radio show with Convergency Radio on Voice America.
There you go.
So and he also interviews global change makers. Yeah. Making change.
So what's really wonderful is the speakers that are going to be, Mitch is going to introduce everybody. Yeah. Right, and then you have all these incredible people that are going to be projecting their passion, which is about the whole essence of consciousness. And Ron and Victoria do something.
Ron and Victoria Freeman are with the Vistar Foundation. They're co-founders of the Vistar Foundation.
Right.
And they're pioneers and they're teachers.
Welcome everyone to the Vistar Method for Evolutionary Circles. Rumi says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And that's the field we discovered in 30 years of engaged group participation. We discovered a field with a group of pioneers in collective evolutionary consciousness, people dedicated to coming together to see what we can do, what is the power of collective consciousness. And what unfolded and is still unfolding is a method that includes 4 guide rules, 3 sections, and 3 roles. And before I go on for the next 2 minutes, I just want to say, if you opt in right now, we will send you a small summary of the guide rules, the sections, and the roles. So these guide rules unfolded organically and emerged from meeting in that field. We began to become sensitive to what we call the EQA, the energy quality atmosphere of the circle, and to see what brought us together, what brought us into authenticity, what brought us into unity, and also what took us apart, what made us separate, what brought in negativity. So the guide rules came through and emerged in that field. And as we explored the field, we began to see that it really began to have a quality of collective awakening. We were awakening together. And as we did this, spontaneously, co-creativity emerged, infinite co-creativity.
They're also about consciousness.
It's about the process of evolving.
Very interesting work that they do.
Fantastic.
What is the potential of people coming together? Because we've gathered together since the beginning of time. We've gathered together for everything, for, to protest, to fight, to love. We've gathered together. But those are the causes. But there's a potential of gathering together. The fact, and we've always wanted to do that. So we are very interested in the actual gathering of people together, no matter, the cause is great, and every cause is wonderful to look at that, especially a spiritual cause. But, the fact that we gather together, we're interested in seeing what is happening.
When we come together in events like this, that's why I bring people. That's why I love bringing people together, just for this energy of love and peace. When we come together, we let go of our differences.
That's
and
right.
Especially with music and sound.
That's what I was just thinking.
Hello and welcome. My name's Ariella Indigo and I'm your host for the multidimensional human experience. I'm excited to be joined by Jodi Serota, who's one of New York's leading life-changing metaphysical educators, working as a channel, vibrational healer and professional artist. Her in-depth intuitive abilities and remarkable sound healing powers are used to create initiations and activations that instantly make major shifts in consciousness and healing. Jodi, thank you so much for being here and a very warm welcome to the summit.
Yes, but I was always very intuitive when I was young. And when I was about 19, I had an experience where a boyfriend of mine who I'd been seeing for 3.5 years had disappeared. And it's an unusual story, but it was never found. And at the time, I'd been brought up Jewish, but I wasn't religious at all. And I didn't even know if I believed in God. But at that point, I wasn't sure I believed in anything when that happened. But it was never found. But what it did for me, it's actually an interesting thing that happened. Something shifted in me at that particular time. I was about 19. And I went through a major change. I was searching, I thought, for him. And what happened was it became a search for myself and my own connection to God and all that exists. So by him affecting my consciousness through him leaving, it created a way of not knowing to come into really knowing within myself and my own connection. And over the years, I started right away. When I started to kind of just know things and meditate, and as soon as I meditated, I had angels and ascended masters come through and speaking through me, and it became all kind of, but it was all very comfortable and natural for me. I realized I had done a lot of this before in other lives, and I was coming into this, and I actually was very quiet, and I used to observe a lot of things when I was younger, but now you kind of can't stop me talking because I'm here to be, a speaker and to bring forth information. I'm a channel. What's developed over the years from all the work I've done on myself, each time I would peel off another layer of my own work on myself, I would come into new levels of my own consciousness. And my guides used to come to me and talk to me telepathically, and they would have me they taught me to go into my consciousness into a corner of the room and meet them there, or they'd meld with me and show me what that felt like. Then they would start to give me information. I used to sit for 3 hours every morning, just do automatic writing, just to guide me and give me information just for me. I wasn't using this for anyone else. But as I kept doing this, they kept giving me more and more information of things that I needed to do out in the world. And they guided me to start to do my work. At the time I was doing Reiki healing. I was a Reiki master, putting my hands on people. But when I would do that, I would get so much information and I wouldn't know what to do with it because I was told not to really just let the energy go, don't do anything else with it. But what happens was they kept telling me you need to start talking and give the information. And it would help me I would feel where they needed the energy shift, and then I would give information around it to help to clear it and understand it better for them. And they would move through me, and then gradually sound started coming through my voice. So I just every time they would tell me different things and guide me and teach me different ways of understanding all different kinds of energy. And at one point, so I started to do sound through my voice from other dimensions. And then later down the line, they would give me ideas of what to, they kept telling me how to get out into the world so people would know who I am and be able to then eventually create a center, which I did, a metaphysical center in New York. But as I was doing all of this, what kept coming up for me was that I needed to, they kept telling me I was trying to find out how do I connect my art. I didn't want to just leave my art, I was an artist, and then do all this work. So they told me to paint paintings for myself as an exercise, paintings with one color only. I do abstract work, so only use one color. So I would get the complete resonance and frequencies of each color. And then when I would paint eventually for people and for myself, I would be painting for healing and for awakening consciousness, and I used to do past life power paintings, all these different kinds of things. And then what it would do is it would actually help me to put that all together. So then eventually they told me to do concerts where I project my art really large so that people can be infused with the visual vibration while I bring in sound, and then light languages, which came through me when I was working with crystal skulls that they guided me to. And then ancient crystal skulls, Max is the name of Max, the ancient crystal skull. And then eventually to do these concerts where it was creating visual stuff, audible, and then kinesthetic vibration by just giving the information that I was channeling. And I do Akashic record readings, the readings of your soul's existence through all time and space.
And then you also have two other individuals that are fabulous, right? So you have that one gentleman, which is Pramik Russell.
Pramik Russell Tubbs. He's played with Herbie Hancock, Sting.
Oh my God! I heard Billy Joel and Whitney Houston. Yeah,
Billy,
no, I saw her. Yeah,
oh, Billy,
I did. John McLaughlin, Whitney Houston.
Okay.
He's a composer, an arranger, a producer,
and a multi-instrumentalist.
Yes. Who's very into higher consciousness.
Yeah, he's amazing. He works with different musicians and he travels and
Sting.
He does a lot of different music and
Yeah.
And he's great. And so he's actually performing with my friend Danny Allison, and she's an amazing singer-songwriter.
Well, it's a beautiful night, and I'm feeling alright. Feels really mellow here. I like
singing these words that come out of her voice that are just magical.
Exquisite.
So she's going to perform with him.
Yes. So she's a singer, a songwriter.
She's like a light channel. She's just like brings in this beautiful energy of music and sound, and her energy is just so beautiful too. So it's just like she just adds to the mix of this beautiful evening.
And with this evening, you have another exquisite person that's going to be coming through.
Barbara Bijou.
Barbara Bijou.
Hi everyone, I'm Barbara Bijou, and I've been working with cross-cultural rituals, spiritual practice, and neuroscience now for over 25 years. I'm the author of The Joy of Ritual, The Joy of Family Rituals, and I blog for many publications, including the Huffington Post, Mind Body Green, Rewire Me Today, What's Now, What's Next, So my passion is really working with entrepreneurs to business people on learning how to integrate the power of ritual into their daily life and businesses and families to bring more success, happiness, joy, and love into their lives, as well as use rituals to really anchor them so they're willing to take bigger risks and to think bigger and to open up to all the blessings and the abundance that the universe has for you. Ritual is really the spiritual technology of the 21st century, and I love using it and I love sharing it with people. So if you're looking for new ways to increase your prosperity and abundance, get healthier, bring more love into your life and more joy and happiness.
She's an urban priestess and she's a ritual expert, and her work is extraordinary. She's just amazing. She's been teaching rituals for over 30 years.
Earth, air, fire, water. Each one of these 4 elements has a unique aspect that we can use in our life. And if we could learn to consciously harness this alchemical power, we can create miracles. We wake up, we're inspired, we have a new idea. We've connected to air. We open, we allow. Our intuition is really strong. We've connected to water. Then we get really excited. We're passionate. We talk to people. We communicate. We build new relationships. That's the fire. And finally, we take this gem of an idea and we begin to take action steps. We ground it into the earth. So the next time that you wake up and you're feeling stuck, use your morning shower to purify you, to release anything that is not supporting you. You need to have a bigger vista, a bigger view on life. You feel like life is all a million details. Take a few deep breaths, good, and look at the sky. Get a bigger viewpoint of life. Feeling a bit depressed, you don't have a lot of energy, I want you to imagine now that you could actually breathe in sunlight. It's like having your own battery deep inside of you that gives you all the energy that you need to create anything you want in life. And when you're feeling spacey, you want to plant your feet firmly on the ground, connecting, using the earth to stabilize you and to really make you powerful. So remember, Mother Earth has given us so many amazing tools, so many amazing gifts, and it's up to us to use them wisely.
She's a global wisdom keeper.
Yes, so in other words, she does these different rituals, which are classes or programs that you experience that just brings you into another dimension of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does ceremonies and rituals, and she's just amazing. She's part of this too. So yeah.
Now she also does something where she does blogging and she does writing for Oprah.com.
She does blogging.
New York Times.
She does that. She's been featured on Oprah and psychology.com
right.
and the New York Times.
The objective of the organization We the World is to facilitate cooperation on a global scale amongst groups and individuals dedicated to implementing solutions to the many challenges we face on the planet at this time. We the World wishes to inspire, inform, and involve more and more people in these solutions to bring about large-scale change. The world will not resolve conflict and war or the destruction of its environment until we stop grabbing huge benefits for the few at the expense of sustainable benefits for all. We are created for interdependence. You have gifts that I don't have, and I have gifts that you don't have. This is true at a personal level and at a global level. We are created for sharing, for caring, for laughter, for love, for celebrating our wonderful diversity as members of one family, the human family, God's family. God bless you.
So many exquisite people.
Yeah.
That create this beautiful synergy of magic of understanding global consciousness. By the time you leave, you're going to be flying, floating, and seeing life in a whole new way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever you do, do not miss going to. Now it's going to be where in Manhattan?
Okay, so it's Saturday, April 21st, and it's from 6:30 p.m. sharp to 9:45 p.m.
You're not going to want to miss a minute of this because everybody that's going to be on is off the hook.
Right.
Yes.
And it's taking place at the New York New Church, which is at 114 East 35th Street. Perhaps you can show that on your screen.
Oh, absolutely, we
And,
will. Absolutely.
and
Now,
there
if people contact you in advance, because you're going to be seeing this ahead of time, you're able to come in for only 25. But at the door, because we were trying to get a head count, it's going to be 33. And it's going to be an amazing experience. Amazing.
Yeah, the website is planetheart.org. So you can go there and find out more information and, yeah. It might be live streamed, so just check our website to see if it's going to be live streamed or not as well. So, yeah.
So, what was I going to say? Well, I'm excited about Earth Day.
Earth Day is actually April 22nd, but what's interesting is, Earth Month starts on March 21st.
Really?
And it goes to April 22nd. That's what Rick Ulfik has been creating, like this little campaign towards that.
Rick Ulfik. Hello, Rick.
Hello, Paul.
Oh, boy, this is my lucky day. I'm talking to Rick Ulfik. This guy is so busy with the world peace and his 11 days. What's the exact title for your wonderful program?
It's 11 Days of Global Unity.
All righty. Give us the background on how that began. I know it's been around for a long time. We've partnered with you and honored to do that. So tell us about it.
Sure. Well, the 11 Days of Global Unity is a worldwide platform where people and organizations can be part of an inspiring international movement that links local awareness and action activities for peace, justice, sustainability, and transformation. And you can find out more about that by going to our website, we.net, which is the website for We the World. I'm the founder of We the World and the We campaign.
Isn't it time we sing out as one?
We are in this together.
You have gifts that I don't have, and I have gifts that you don't have.
It's already begun. Now is the time that we help the world.
15 of whom are dying every minute from hunger and disease. Melting so much faster than scientists had expected. The world spends $2 million per minute on militarism and war.
It's time for a shift. We together can make a major change, the kind of change that we must see. Now is the time for we.
Now is the time for we the world.
I hope that everyone can join with We the World, because it's when we all get together that we will make the changes that we must make. We are the world.
The original Earth Day in 1970 was one of the co-founders,
yes.
John McConnell. He started doing it in the spring equinox. Day. Yeah,
how exquisite is that?
But it became more apropos to do it on April 22nd through some Senator John Gaynard Nelson, I think his name was, and he started doing it on April 22nd. So there was 2 Earth Days in 1970 actually.
I gotcha.
And the one that was more like people that seemed to be,
into that consciousness.
April 22nd. It turned out to be more of the day that.
Well, I think like April 22nd is more of people understanding Earth Day, which is more about planting a tree and recycling and the water we drink and the things we eat and caring about the world in a way which has to do with loving the earth. And what this is, the 11/11, this is the 11th annual Earth Day and the year of the 11, that it's really important for us to heal ourselves, so we can evolve to heal.
Peace within is when the peace comes out.
That's right, right. So
inner peace.
Right. So in other words, if you know how to love yourself, you're able to love everything and everybody around you, to create better relationships and better synchronicities.
I met Ellen Pellegrino many years ago, late 2015, early 2016, when I got to know her a little more because I was on tour with David Young, who's an amazing musician and person, and I was working with him. I came to an event that David Young was doing here, and I met Ellen. I was realized that we were already Facebook friends. And Ellen is the sweetest, kindest, most loving person, one of the most loving people I know. Her heart is very, very big, and I love her passion. I love her energy. She's just a really great person to not only be friends with, but to work with and to collaborate with. And to just basically all around, she's so fun. She's funny. And I love her a lot. She's also a great healer. She does have an aura about her that's very powerful. She takes the room. I mean, meaning that, when she comes into the room, you can feel her bubbly energy. And I've definitely noticed that.
Most people, they're always so much outside themselves. They make their families important, their significant others so important, their work so important, but they lose a sense of self sometimes. And what this does is it reels you back into you and what makes you smile and what makes you feel alive, and magnifying that in your life. And I really feel when you come to this event, you'll understand that at a whole new level. So thank you for sharing this experience, getting to know Andrew the way I do, and getting to know the people that he gathered up to create this magical day. Love and blessings, and until next time. Andrew, ever since I've known you, I've run into you on all these exquisite places. I've run into you on Mark Beckner's
New Life Expo.
New Life Expo. Yeah, which is a wild array of unique individuals from around the world that do spirituality.
Right.
And what I adore about you is you are so well respected in that community. You speak there, you speak at different events, and this is kind of your passion. People that you came across that are the who's who in spirituality, in universal consciousness and awareness and teaching, evolving. So talk to me about everything that rocks your world.
Everything that rocks my world.
Yeah.
What specifically are you at?
It's like you're really up on what's happening. In other words, there's teleconferences that are going on about things pertaining to this. In other words, what we both do, Age of New Beginnings and your Planet Heart, and the things that we're both in alignment with, all has to do with teaching people that it's not just way out there funky stuff. You know, that normally when you see stuff like this, you can think of that, oh yeah, you know, they're flower children and they must be on drugs, and you know, they don't understand that, wow, stones have to do with energetic frequency, that if you're not in a higher vibration, that you might want a pink rose quartz, and it has to do with self-love and shifting your vibration, so you're starting to enjoy life from a natural perspective, not something where you're getting lost somewhere and disconnecting. This is about really connecting and going within and evolving.
Right.
So you can go out there, but you can go out there by meditating, you know? So the stuff that you're doing is said in a way that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Experienced,
so,
yeah.
I deeply have been feeling that it's so important to be connected with other human beings on this path, because there's so many crazy things going on in this world, and when we can really connect to our hearts and connect to other people's hearts in a safe environment,
to not live fear-based.
Yeah.
So when you feel like you're alone and you hear the news and you can almost panic and be stressed about everything. Oh my God, I can't eat this, and oh my God, that's going to affect me in that way, and the world is against me, and there could be a bomb if I open up that door and get into my car. So the world is not so bad. The more that you understand that more people that are getting into inner healing work
and spirituality, and, and more about, it's more about I would say the sound of music. Let's go there.
Okay.
I think the vibrational frequency of music really connects people universally.
It's one way of helping people.
It's one way, and I really feel like that's music is, first of all, the essence of opening the gateway to our higher souls.
Right.
And that's when we really, like, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, orange, yellow, green, whatever.
No.
You feel connected through that.
Yes.
And then the energy infusion of when you're in the community.
Oh, yes.
When you're, like, for example, in the circle holding
right.
hands.
Right.
You also let go of black, white, yellow, green, whatever, and you feel the hearts.
Yes.
You feel connected. Yes. And that's what these events that I've been doing are all about, connecting.
Yeah.
And it's oneness and unity and peace. Sometimes it's hard in this world to feel that there's going to be peace when there's all this violence still going on. But the thing is, there's so many more and more people waking up to their own spirits, their own souls, their own calling. They're being called. And we're having this awakening that's happening all around the planet. And more people are waking up. And this planetary evolutionary shift in consciousness that's happening all over the world is extraordinary.
Well, you know, it's understanding when you're getting into the expanded essence of yourself, like with the new earth consciousness, it's realizing that we really do have control of our reality.
Right.
That we're not a victim to anything, and that the more that we go in, we're creating that happiness and inner peace.
Right.
You know, connecting to the essence of all that is, and as we're doing that, we're able to be more expanded, so I can actually connect to your heart and feel what's going on and the vibration of what's going on with you.
Right.
So it's more and more people are being able to do energetic work, more intuitive work, because
it's more accepted. I mean, meditation, yoga. I mean, now it's like everybody. A lot of people, more people meditate now.
They do.
And a lot of people, it's more accepting. It's more things that are happening that it was like 20 years ago.
Oh, it was like, oh my
now,
God, you're one of them.
Now it's more, but now it's, you know. So
yes, it's more mainstream.
The people that are going to be in this event coming on April 21st, all of them are doing extraordinary work too, to raise consciousness and to better our way of like connecting to the world and living. Yeah.
Quality of life.
Yeah. So.
So I know that you're going to enjoy and be blown away and really walk away with feeling joy in your heart. And probably an energetic shift that you're not even aware of that you could even experience.
Right.
You know?
And the good
and that's
thing,
what I love about your Earth Day. It's not one of those normal Earth days where you're playing with soil, which is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You know, planting your seed, you know, and growing something.
Well, we are planting seeds.
We are, but inside, internally.
Yeah. No, it involves the connection of unity, consciousness, and peace, and spirituality, and Mother Earth.
Yes.
Combined.
Gaia.
So, Gaia, Mother Earth.
Yes. So, all my love. You know, most people, they're always so much outside themselves. They make their families important, their significant others so important, their work so important, but they lose a sense of self sometimes. And what this does is it reels you back into you and what makes you smile and what makes you feel alive, and magnifying that in your life. And I really feel when you come to this event, you'll understand that at a whole new level. So thank you for sharing this experience, getting to know Andrew the way I do, and getting to know the people that he gathered up to create this magical day. Love and blessings, and until next time.
When we look around the world, when we read the papers, what we see is a deepening despair. So much fear and hurt, we don't even trust our neighbors. It's as if we've been instructed not to care. But still something in us stirs, still we sense an invitation, a feeling that we cannot quite explain. It's a whisper of the heart, not guilt or obligation, and awareness that deep down we're all the same. Lately the world seems headed for a fateful fall, but still there's one way we will make it after all. Unite for compassion, for connection, for forgiveness. Unite for inspiration, education, peace and justice. Unite, together we can make a better life for all of humankind. If you and I unite. For the first time we know that there is no separation. If it happens anywhere, it matters here. There's so much reason to hope for a regeneration if we hold our global vision crystal clear. 'Cause with the smallest kindness the healing starts, and we can make a difference right where we are. Unite for compassion, for connection, for forgiveness. Unite for inspiration, education, peace and justice. Unite, together we can make a better life for all of humankind. If you and I unite. 'Cause there's a baby hungry, there's a mother thirsty, there's a man with AIDS and no doctor, no pills. There's a child left homeless without any hope at all, no hope at all. There's a village dying, there's a drought unending, there's a country in relentless civil war. There's so many people, oh, millions of people, wondering what life is for. They do not dare to dream anymore. So, now is the time. Let's hit the ground running. The world is crying out to try something new. Only hand in hand we'll find that a brighter day is coming. This is the most important work we'll ever do. 'Cause a gift of love last. And there's no greater giving than giving back. Unite for compassion, for connection, for forgiveness.